Here we go now.
Here we go now. Here we go now. Here we go now. Here we go now. Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. And don't forget, you can hear an audio version of our live recaps and special episodes and extended versions on the Kempire podcast. While you're there, don't forget to give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. I was sort of like, do I want to stand? Do I want to sit? Right now, I'll sit. If I want to get up, I'll get up. But speaking of extended versions, don't forget, our Real Housewives of Orange County recap just aired here on our YouTube channel, but the special extended version will be exclusively on the podcast. I go through Katie Janella's Entertainment Tonight interview. I also go through the Real Housewives of Orange County mid-season trailer. So if you missed it, that will be available later today on the Kempire podcast. All right. Shout out to everyone in the live chat. Thank you, Steve. Says, nice shirt. This shirt, let me show you the shirt. Hold on. This shirt is from Japan. The Uniqlo in Japan. That's Mickey Mouse. Yes. Thank you, guys. Hey, Angel. Angel's watching on Twitch. And thank you, The Good Tea with JoJo says, hold on. I'm getting my virtual ticket for next week's show. So I know what to expect when I come to the in-person next time in DC. Yeah, you should. Definitely. Don't forget, guys, the Kempire After Dark live show is coming to New York City. And our final show will be here in New York City next Friday, literally a week from today. So I don't even know if you guys will get your Real Housewives of Miami recap next Friday. Or Orange County. Or maybe I'll just do Miami and I don't know. But maybe I'll save it for Saturday and give my first thoughts to our New York City virtual community as well. Yep. How about we do that? It's show day. I can't be working on show day. Come on now. So, yeah. Anyway, get your tickets today for the Kempire After Dark. This is our final show of 2025, our final show of the summer. So if you haven't gotten your tickets and you are in the New York City tri-state area, I ran into someone. Shout out to Lynn, who I ran into in Brooklyn. And she says, I know you have a live show coming up. So she was like one of the first people I've run into that didn't pretend like she didn't know. She was like, no, I know you have a live show coming up. So Lynn's going to come to the show. Right, Lynn? Anyway, guys, you can be a part of our final show. Get your tickets today. There's virtual tickets as well. Check out the description for more details. All right. And I'll see you there, Lynn. Right? Okay. Cindy says, so excited for next Friday. Me too. That's why I'm sort of like, no, I don't want to overexert myself on next Friday. I want to be fresh and clean and clear and rested. So yeah, you guys will have to wait for your Real Housewives of Miami and Orange County recaps next Friday. Sorry. Nope. I gotta be primed for our Friday night crew. All right. So anyway. All right. Real Housewives Miami. I'm so glad to talk about Real Housewives Miami versus Orange County. I kind of wish they never changed the date, but then part of me sort of is kind of glad because now I pre-record the Orange County recaps. But Miami is so good. Even with some of the stuff that we didn't like this season, overall, this season has been really good. And I can't believe, I don't like how they ended though. Last week's episode was sort of like we left Sevilla, but we didn't really talk about leaving Sevilla. We just now are back in Miami, and now we're going on another trip. But that's the kind of life I want though, where I went on an international trip and I'm coming back, and 2 days later I'm going on a cruise. Yeah. But for people watching it, this is part of what people love about the energy of Miami, because even just the atmosphere of Miami just gives us a vibe that takes us out of this world. And I love the fact that we are back from a trip, and now we're going on to another trip. I'm just saying, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. Speaking of which, so before they even go on this Virgin Voyages, and I'm sure that's probably part of the reason why Sir Richard Branson was like, "Yeah, you can use my boat to promote it, the Virgin Voyages," and here we're talking about it. Has anyone ever done that? The Virgin Voyages? I tell you, I love Virgin Atlantic. So if it's anything like Virgin Atlantic in the air, that's an experience, okay? And also, it's not even just about the accommodations when it comes to Virgin Atlantic. It's about the staff. And I'm not even just talking about the flight attendants. I'm talking about the people that check you in at the gate. They were so, mind you, this is over a year ago that I took Virgin Atlantic. And I'm still giving them rave reviews. Where's my free ticket? Honestly, I wasn't even saying it for a free ticket, but I just thought to myself, give me a free ticket. But okay. Anyway, so Gertie FaceTimes with Stephanie, and this is where we get into the theme of nautical Stephanie. Nautical Stephanie is very calm. She's very demure. Okay. I'm liking this new friendship that we're seeing. I mean, we already kind of saw it on social media, but I'm liking this new friendship between Gertie and Stephanie that's forming. All right. In another scene, Alexia FaceTimes with Larsa, and Larsa says that Lisa turns everything into her being the victim. I mean, pot, here's kettle. They're very much alike, hence why they're probably friends. But this is Larsa talk. At this particular point, you know I was defending Larsa at the top of the season. At this particular point, Larsa is dragging it. She's dragging it because she brings up the whole paparazzi comment again. And I was like, but she made that comment after you guys, before at that lunch that you guys had. You guys should be good now, right? So I didn't understand why she brought that up in this week's episode. I was like, okay, now you're grasping at straws. You're grasping to have a problem. Because what else is Larsa's storyline this season? I'll wait. What is her storyline? Okay. That's been my frustration with Larsa for a while, since the reboot. Like, there's like very pre-produced moments that she pre-produced boyfriends and everything like that. But okay. Alexia says, well, if I'm going to help you with Lisa, I need you to help me with the whole Stephanie of it all. Because remember they left Sevilla and they had that big blow up between Stephanie and Marysol over there in Spain. So it's a group divided again. All right. So then we get into this next scene where Marysol has like a meal or lunch or something with Julia. Okay. Julia, what is going on with Julia's hair in this episode? This particular scene, but then when she gets on the cruise, I'm like, who's doing Julia's hair right now? I'm not liking it, I'm not loving it, but you know I don't love Julia. Just saying. So Julia said that she had a conversation with her daughter, Victoria. And she says normally the conversations don't really end well, but this particular conversation, her daughter is like, Mom, I gotta go. I love you. So Julia read a lot into that. And she was like, oh, she said, I love you. And not I love you. She said, I love you. And I'm thinking she's so used to, look, I'm sorry, Julia, but I'm going to be honest. I'm thinking her daughter is so used to saying that when she hangs up with her mother. It wasn't anything particular about that moment. Doesn't mean that she necessarily has softened to being understanding where Julia is coming from. And if you missed last week, I told you, we need to talk about kids that have narcissistic parents, specifically narcissistic mothers with daughters. That because a daughter and mother dynamic is very different than a mother and son dynamic. So I just put that out there for you guys to chew on. So Julia reads more into that, and she says Emma might have a harder time because she's younger and more emotional, blah, 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 blah. I honestly think this has to do with Julia. I don't even think it has necessarily to do with Martina. I think this has to do with Julia, her being selfish, always being selfish. So it doesn't land the same with me when Julia FaceTimes Martina. Mind you, this is the second time that she's FaceTiming with Martina, and Martina's home with those kids, the kids that you wanted so badly. But I get it. Look. We're watching an edited show. She's working, but can we just play a little bit? It doesn't land. It doesn't land with me while you FaceTimed with Martina while you were gallivanting across the ocean, and Martina, who signed up to have these kids with you because you wanted the kids, but every time we see that the two boys are with Martina and not with you. We get back. You're having lunch with Marysol. The kids are with Marty and not with you.
What is this, honey?
I get it though. Like I'm being playful. So for those of you that'll be in the comment section, Kempire, she has to work. She's just part of her job. I get it. I'm just being funny. Fine. Okay. And if you guys are just joining us, we're talking about the Real Housewives of Miami. Don't forget to like the video. It's easy and it's free. And feel free to weigh in the comment section or in the live chat. Shout out to our live chat. We see you guys as well. And if you haven't already, be sure to like the video, because how many people are here and we don't even have 100 likes? Really? Okay. All right. Matter of fact, let me stop. Let's get to 100 likes, because someone said this the other day. You haven't done that in a long time, where you wouldn't even keep going with the live recap until you got to the number of likes. Let's get to 100 likes before I even continue. This be a good time for a water break. Oh, apparently threatening you guys works. All right, we're almost at 100 and 107 likes.
Lies!
Yo, I'm gonna keep doing that. We're bringing it back. Oh, who's the old school folks that have been here a long time? Who are the old school folks here that remember when I used to do that? I'm gonna bring it back. We're gonna bring it back. Okay. Anyway, so Julia talks about that. They FaceTime with Martina. Martina's with the boys. Okay. She said that it will. Okay. Marysol said that she doesn't feel like it was a big deal in regards to her not going on the private jet with Stephanie. And she said that Alexia didn't come on. Wait, what did I do? Oh, she said it was. She doesn't feel like it was a big deal that her and Alexia didn't come on the jet. And then she says that Stephanie could be very loud sometimes. She's like, oh, I don't know. Part of me sort of, it would, Marysol playing that out, saying that Stephanie is so loud, and it was giving very like Karen. Like, oh, she's so loud. She's always screaming. It's like she's got a megaphone in her throat. Blah, blah. And maybe she is. We're watching the show. We're seeing snippets of their lives. Okay. Everyone say, bring it back, bring it back. Apparently, we're going to have to bring it back. Damn, we're almost at 200 likes. I better bring it back. All right. Kay says, play the song until you get the numbers up. I bet it make it hit it. I bet I make it hit it. I don't know what you meant by that, but I get what you're saying. Anyway. So back to this, y'all. I feel like this is blurry. No, it's not. There we go. I think it's the screen behind me. Teresa says, Julia's hair looked like something from the 20s. Makes her look much older. Yeah, I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. But okay. Anyway, let's focus. So Marysol talks about how Stephanie is so loud. And so they're rehashing all the stuff that played out in Sevilla. So anyway, a non-scene with Julia. What I noticed about Julia in this week's episode, every moment that she could get to be around the bros, she wants to be. Even when they FaceTime with Larsa at the end, there goes Julia. Julia not checking on her friend Adriana. She's hanging out with the bros, just sitting in there looking like a third wheel. I know there's only two wheels, but you get what I'm saying. No, there's a third wheel. There we go. I was just like, okay, like, girl, again, if they're going, you saw exactly what I predicted when it comes to the bros and Julia. The minute that they can get rid of you, they're going to get rid of you. You saw something came up for you that you wanted to do, to go tell your friend to be the godfather, and they were like, well, yeah, we're gonna stay back here and hang out. They didn't include you in that. They didn't show up for you because you are not a part of that group. They're using you. But you know what? I'm glad that they're using you because you're so easy to be used. Woo woo woo. Our Whatless says it's Friday. Anything goes. Is that true? Look, is that true? All right, let's move on from this. Kiki has lunch with her father. So I know a lot of people are wondering if Kiki was testing to be full-time this season. Part of me thinks that, but part of me thinks, no, I feel like production takes a different approach with this city. Remember, this is a different production company. This is what the purveyors of pop that produce Real Housewives of Miami. They also produce Married to Medicine. I feel like they are taking a different approach when it comes to how they display the friend doves of the show. Because we've said it countless times, and they do watch the channel. Hey, producers. And I'm not saying that if you followed me on TikTok, we saw production in the chat multiple times. Earlier, when we first started recapping the season, production was in the chat. Just saying. I know they're still here watching. But they've heard us when we said that the friend dubs are important to the show. I don't need them to be full-time, though. Me personally, I don't think, even if they made them full-time, if you made Kiki full-time, I don't think you would find her interesting. If you made Adriana full-time, I don't think you would find that interesting. Marysol, I'm a little like on the fence because, I mean, she is married. It seems like there's some stuff going on, but again, I don't know if there's a lot going on there either, but she's always involved in all of the mess. But there must be a reason why they've decided not to give her a full-time position. I don't know why. That'd be a great question to ask at BravoCon, though. Ask Andy. And Andy's probably going to give you this politically correct answer. You know, with Miami, they don't... Andy probably still watches our channel, too. You know, with Miami, the friend dubs are just as important as the housewives. No, not everyone has to be a housewife, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Whatever, Andy. There's a reason. And it makes me wonder what that reason is. That's the only person I'm fascinated about. Like, why haven't they made her full-time? Okay. So let's talk about this lunch that Kiki had with her father. And if you're Caribbean, I think you can relate. I know she tried to make it a Haitian thing, but I think if you're Caribbean, Jamaican, Trinidadian, Bayesian, whatever, you can relate to the dynamic that we're watching in front of us when it comes to Kiki and her father. Because remember, Kiki's father, when her stepmother kicked her out, the stepmother asked the father first. He's like, yeah, kick her out. Please understand, the father is only showing remorse now. He's not even showing remorse because he never apologized for it. But he's only sort of in Kiki's life now because Kiki is on this reality show. Because in their eyes, Kiki has made it. And Kiki is sort of like, hence why her relatives were threatening her because they think that she's rich because she's on reality television. Some of y'all think I'm rich because of the amount of numbers I have. That don't mean nothing. But I'm sure some of my family, someone just asked me and my family to buy them a house. Excuse me? So it's that West Indian Caribbean mentality. You got it. You can't come nowhere with your hands empty. They're always looking for something from you. But please understand, the father he probably would not even be talking to Kiki if it wasn't the fact that she is now made a success of her, a success for herself as this reality person. They just see her as someone that's on TV. They don't believe in like, oh, she's not an A-list actress. They don't see it like that. She's on television. She's rich. We want anything that we can get from her. If we're going to be honest. Teresa says her dad seemed very removed from what Kiki was telling him. Very. And exactly. Teresa says typical. Keisha says not a whole house. Yes. And you know what I told this person? I was like, I forgot what I said. Please hold. I will look right now. Because for me, it's not even the fact that I couldn't necessarily do it. I'm not saying that I could. Stop clocking my dollars. I said, please hold. I said, you need to stop feeling sorry for yourself. It's not like you can't buy a house on your own. Because I know that this person has the ability to do so. So I was like, why do I need to buy you a house when you have literally the ability? You have been approved to do those things. But again, Caribbean, someone in the chat said add Africans to it. It's very common. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. What I'm saying is I'm not completely surprised by it. And please understand, I believe the father would have still probably been looking his nose up at Kiki if she wasn't on reality television. Because in their eyes, oh, she's on television. She's hugely successful. Hence why those relatives were like, oh, she can afford it. She's on television. Quiet as it's kept, these people don't realize just because she's on reality television doesn't mean she's making a lot of money. She's also living in Miami, which is quite expensive. The rest of Florida is not as expensive as Miami. Oh, KEW says, hold on, KEW, what's your comment? Black immigrants, Africans are the same, at least the ones I know. That's probably where we get it from. Someone the other day was saying to me too, about the Caribbean or something like that. And I was like, well, it's still all African because at the end of the day, we were just dropped off in different spots. It's all stems back from Africa. Go do your 23andMe. Okay. Savannah says, we got bills too. Exactly. So I wasn't completely surprised when Kiki dropped that tea that, she had family members threatening her. I mean, I've never had a family member threaten my life about, paying for something or bringing them to the country. But again, I would have to ask like relatives, like, have you ever had that experience for those? But it's also very common for those that come here to America. They usually are bringing people over, or it's sort of like the halfway off, before they start developing their own thing. Exactly. Samira says facts. If they weren't on camera, he would have read her for filth. I think he was just playing the game. He's sort of like, oh, I'm on television, blah, blah, blah. It was a cute scene, but I'm sure it was also triggering for a lot of people that are Caribbean or African that were watching it. That's my opinion, though. But was it enough for us to give Kiki a mojito? No, because we're talking about the same thing that we talked about already for the season. But it was a cute scene. Exactly. Well, SW says life started in Africa, so everyone's from there. But I'm talking about like where we can track it all the way right now, like directly. Okay, we understand that's where life began, but you get what I'm saying. Exactly. Miss Aisha says he kept looking at the cameras, and then he mentioned the cameras in their conversation. And he was like, because she's talking about what the stepmother did and what he allowed, and he was like, and now look at you, all these cameras are around you. Like if he didn't do it, where would she be? Dorothy says not once he apologized, and he never will. And if you're Caribbean, Haitian, whatever it may be, you already know he is not. He's not going to apologize. Coco's watching on Twitch. Don't forget, guys, to follow us on Twitch, twitch.tv/TheKempire. I might go live on Twitch later on today, too, just to kind of give you guys a little extra juicy Twitch moment. Okay. Coco says Haitian parents and accountability do not mix. Jamaican, beige. I'm sure all of them would agree. African, all of them would agree. Would agree. All right. Let me move on, because that was really that's all I really wanted to say about that scene. There really wasn't anything that stood out to me in that scene that made me want to dig deep in that. I just really wanted to talk about the connection that we all, especially across the diaspora, can relate to what Kiki's going through, what people think Kiki is actually making. Friend ofs don't make a lot of money. Yeah, she's probably making a lot of money in comparison to what they are making back in Haiti. However, they also think that she's rich and that she can support them when they come. This is why she wants the mojito, because she wants to be able to support all these people. She's already supporting her mother and her father. All right. But Kiki, very much like all of us, the moment your parents give you a little something in regards to a approval, you're so happy about the approval, because she got a little something from him in regards to him actually stepping up for her in Haiti and going to family members telling them to leave her alone. She was like, my hero. So for her, that's like a big thing. And he probably will put this over her head too. Creme Brulee says, yes, he will never say sorry. Ever. All right. Jody and Lisa at home. I just want to say this. I don't think we say this enough. And this might be because we're talking about a black woman and we're talking about a white woman. I don't care what you guys say. Lisa probably is more white than she is black. If she's even black. Because I think you guys think automatically because her mother's Jamaican that makes her black. No, it doesn't. I need to see her 23andMe. Okay? Anyway, but I don't think we say this enough. Lisa is basically the Portia of Real Housewives of Miami. Like, she married Lenny not because of his looks, not because she was in love with him. And I'm not judging this because everyone gets married for different reasons. I say this all the time. A lot of people, and in different cultures, people get married for social status. People get married for money. This happens. But Lisa is not far from another Portia Peach Juice Williams, formerly Gobadia. Okay? So Lisa sits with Jody. Oh my God. Just when I couldn't think about Jody being any more weirder, I really paid attention to the way that he speaks. I did not pay attention to the way that he speaks. It really stood out to me in this particular episode. The man's jaw doesn't move. His body doesn't move. And I was like, I need to be able to recreate this. Let me see if I can do this. All I see is teeth. And it's just like, and there's no emotion. And then part of me was sort of like, not that I know from experience. No, let me not say it. I'll say it at the live show. For legal reasons. But then he was just sort of like, and then he's like dead in the eyes. Right? He is dead in the eyes. He's just like this. And he's just like, I really have problems with Lisa. And, there's always the drama. And like he doesn't, like the lips aren't moving. Like, I'm like, huh? I didn't notice it before. I noticed the eyes, but then I'm like, maybe because he's doing more confessionals now. So Lisa, in this conversation with him, she's packing for another trip. She's like, I'm never here. Where are the kids, Lisa? Where are the kids? Who's taking care of the kids? The kids are with their father. You mean the nanny? But okay. But not judging. I'm just saying the elephant in the room. Okay. Anyway, so wait, someone said he had jaw surgery? Hold on. Let me see. I believe he's had jaw surgery in connection with the teeth. So, is Jody, are you in here? Or Lisa, are you in here on your burner? Okay. Sabana says the AC was turned all the way up. I didn't notice it before, the way that he speaks. Sevi says Candy talks like that. Yeah, Candy kind of like, yeah, you're right. Candy does. But maybe because Candy doesn't have the eyes, the scary eyes, the Ramona eyes. No, Keisha, there won't be any interaction with the live stream viewers, at least not the last couple of times that we've done it, because there is no chat. There is no chat. But I do call back to the live stream in regards to like the folks that are watching on live stream. But no, there is no live chat for the live stream. So you'll be able to watch the show. All right. You asking for a lot, Keisha. I kid. But you never know. They could have upgraded it since the last time, but stay tuned. Matter of fact, I can also make that as suggestions. Like, can we add a live stream? Like a live chat? Okay, anyway. So Lisa brings up marriage. Mind you, she just signed the dotted line. She finalized her divorce recently. And they just uploaded the after show. Because I was looking this morning, I didn't see the after show. Literally right before this, they uploaded the after show on Peacock. I said, what's going on with these streaming services? Peacock's raising their price. Apple's raising their price a whole $3. Apple, y'all not that good. I'm about to cancel it because it's like $3. Y'all lucky I was paying the $10 a month. Anyway, that was another sidebar. Back to this. So Lisa's like, it feels weird not being the missus. And she's like, I like being the missus. Girl, you just finalized your divorce. But this is what we're talking about. Why I say she's very similar to Portia. She just wants to marry a man of means. Well, in the after show, Lisa says that she doesn't necessarily want to get married. She just wants to be a fiance. She's so surface. She's so superficial. Like, I want to like her, but I'm like, Lisa, she's so surface. There's no depth to Lisa Hochstein. So she's sort of in this conversation trying to insinuate she'd like to get engaged. But in the after show, she's like, I just want to be a fiance. She's like, I don't want to be a girlfriend. That seems so, if I was like 5, she's like, what are we, 5? And she's like, oh, wait, I mean like 17? Like, she just wants to be a fiance. Mind you, she's also wearing still. I mean, if you were Jody, would you want to propose to a woman that's still wearing her wedding band and wedding ring, but she's wearing it on her other hand and other fingers? So she wants to be a Mrs., but she's still rocking the old Mister's rings. Okay. I'm sorry. My thing is, if you've moved on, it's one thing if you are divorcing and you're not dating someone else, but you're dating someone else, you're living with someone else, and you're rocking your ex's rings that he got for you. Pageant Mommy says she wants rings. 100%. She wants to collect those suckers like Thanos. So surface. So Jody is just sort of like this, like, you wanna, yeah, well, we've got a lot of things that we need to talk through and deal with. He's like, there's so many lawsuits. I can't even recreate how he sounds or the jaw movements that are not moving. She says this finger feels bare. All right. But she says, I'm also not in a rush to get married. So she just wants to get engaged. Jody says that it's been tough being in this relationship between the lawsuits, the amount of attention, the issues with Larsa. He says that sometimes their fight causes him having to sleep in another room. And she's like, don't mention that. She's like, cut. And he's just like, our issues, I feel like we need to go speak with someone. So Lisa does not like that in the confessional. She's just like, cut. Let's not talk about that. Girl, you're in a relationship. This is part of being in a relationship. I didn't see anything wrong with what he said. She wants to paint the picture like they're a perfect couple, but we know that you're not. And I would probably be sort of like, everything's been cool, Jody. I mean, despite all of the media press and all the issues with her ex. So anyway, Jody then says that it was Larsa that initiated texting. And what he was saying here was that she's the one who initiated texting way before they were any issues. So he didn't see any issue with them texting back and forth. Okay? But I think it was the energy of his text message to her when there was conflict. I don't think there was a problem with you texting her. Anyway, so then Jody tries to bring up Russell and what Russell said to Larsa last season, where Russell was like, Larsa, show some respect. So Jody's like, I don't see what the issue is with me texting her when Russell said this, last season. Well, he was also defending his wife that was fighting cancer. That might be the difference. I think back then we all were sort of like, we didn't want Russell to get involved, but Russell does not normally get involved. So if Russell's saying something, we all should be paying attention. He's defending his wife that's battling cancer that was exposed by Larsa on this show and to the friend group. I thought that was interesting that Jody tried to use that as an example. But okay. Anyway, so Lisa would like to get married again. But she doesn't want to get married. She wants the ring. She wants to be a fiance. She doesn't want to be a girlfriend anymore. She wants to be a fiance. She wants her bills paid, okay? And she's getting them paid. She's getting them paid. He's paying for that apartment that they're living in. All right. Moving on. Let's move on, y'all. Let's get to Stephanie. Stephanie meets with Anastasia. Anastasia owns a makeup brand. Ladies in the chat, have you ever heard of Anastasia? I've never heard of her before, but again, I don't wear makeup. like that to know all the different brands. I know Fenty. That's it. Huda. But I learned a Huda because of reality television. I didn't know about her brand, but a lot of you did. Anyway, so apparently, she's very well known in that brand. Apparently, they're two friends. So Stephanie talks with Anastasia about planning this party that she's planning. She's planning a Christmas party, and she wanted to feature some of the makeup as a gift to the ladies. All right. And she's also going to be doing some sort of drink that will benefit Kiki's Haitian charity. Okay. Fine. Beautiful. Stephanie then talks about her fears about having kids, and they talk about this during the after show as well. She's very like she walks through all of what could possibly happen with kids. You can't control what your kids will turn out to be. Tanya says yeah, she's super rich. Cindy says yes, well known. Blue Hoodie says it's a huge brand. Wow. I mean, I figured, but I never would come here and claim like, who's this lady? I'm more so like, ladies, do y'all know? Are you familiar? Okay. Angel says, I love my Fenty 400 is my shade. I mean, weren't they one of the first ones, Fenty to come out with multiple foundation shades and things like that that a lot of brands did not. I think that's what really set them apart, which really helped Fenty Beauty. And don't get me to talking, all right? Oh, Vigilian says Masood doesn't need more children. He has enough with his ex. It doesn't seem like this is something that Stephanie really wants. Stephanie, I think, likes being the child in their relationship. Okay? So then she comes up with all these excuses as to why. She's like, what if they're a bully? What if they get bullied? What if they do drugs? What if they become absolutely crazy? What if they end up wanting to murder me? I will say that was a funny confessional from her. I don't know about anyone else. I found that to be really funny. Yes, Samir, I did see that. She did share that she doesn't have protected sex with Masood, and they've never ended up pregnant. So she's assuming that it has more to do with her and her fertility. So, but it doesn't seem like she really wants kids. I don't get why people, especially in 2025, pressure people or constantly have those conversations. Because to me, that's pressuring people. I don't understand why people still have those conversations. Just respect someone's choice not to have children. I think what people are seeing with Stephanie is that like her reasoning seems to be, well, that's not a reason not to have kids. But if that's what she wants, that's what she wants. Don't force her to have children. April says, I don't think he wants kids either. I mean, he has kids already. Maybe he likes having Stephanie as the one that he can have fun with and not, oh, now we have kids. Maybe he doesn't want to start at this particular age of starting over with children. That was one of the excuses she said to Anastasia. And Anastasia, no, he'll love it. Okay. Miss Parker, thank you so much. Miss Parker said, I got my Kempire After Dark live stream ticket. Yeah. Again, guys, more information on our more explicit version of what we talk about here is what we will talk about at Kempire After Dark, the villain era, our last show of the summer, our last show of 2025. Can y'all believe 2025 is basically almost over? So that will be our last show of the year. So go get your tickets today. Just saying. Ticket information is available in the description. Let me see. Danny says Fenty foundation powder has been pulled from the UK market and just can't find another that matches up. Why has it been pulled? Do we know why? Not Casey Anthony. No. Elle says, if you are forced to have kids, you shouldn't have kids. Yeah, and I feel like that's what they're doing, but I guess they're hearing her reasoning for it, and they're like, that's not a reason. It sounds like she's very fearful of what this could be. She did in the after show try to paint a picture of the kind of kid that she would want. She would want a boy. She would want to dress the boy up like Masood. She would want to call him Masood. She would want him to be, he would take over the business. Yeah, we don't need her putting that type of pressure on a kid that might grow up not wanting to do any of that stuff. He might allow the kid to be like, we don't want another parent coming in and putting the pressures of what they want their child to be on them. And she's also concerned because you look at her twin sisters, they don't talk to her parents. And then she said in the after show, she's like, my parents got lucky with me. She really thinks highly of herself. I mean, she does take care of her parents, but Lord, she really thinks highly of herself. I thought the same thing, Keith. Keith says, men's testes count can decrease as they get older. It probably isn't her. And he's quite older. She's assuming a lot. Like, either way, a doctor would still test both her and Masood to see whether or not who is the issue. But it doesn't seem like she really wants. She has come up with every excuse in the book as to why she doesn't want children. I respect people when they say they don't want children. Just Jules, thank you so much for being a member. Just Jules is celebrating 34 months of being a member, guys. If you're not a member of here, you're missing out. There's all kinds of really cool perks of being a member here on the channel. Just Jules says, replay crew still haven't finished Real Housewives of Miami, but stopped in to hit the like button. Continue to love this community and family. Happy Friday, everyone. Happy Friday to you, Just Jules. Thank you for being a member for 34 months. I don't take that lightly. Because, with everything going up in price, our YouTube membership has stayed the same price since the beginning. And there's multiple tiers. Just saying. All right. But I appreciate it, too, because I know some of you have your other expenses. And there are things that happen. And you can't necessarily do that every month. But some of you have rode with us this entire time. And I appreciate it. So thank you to our members. Shout out to all the members in the chat. And in the replay crew. We see you guys. All right. So I feel like Anastasia's conversation, though, was really good when it comes to talking about Stephanie's delivery with these other women. Because she says she feels like these other women are always calling her bossy. So Anastasia says, well, you're in a business where you're dealing with a lot of men. So it's not shocking that your delivery can come across bossy. But she said it might be a good thing that you're going to be around these women because it will soften you a bit. Because she's a boss. Anastasia. So she probably has gotten that as well. Stephanie says Anastasia reminds her very much of herself. So Anastasia, based on what we saw from her, though, she was giving very soft in that moment. So she's probably had to figure out a balance. And I think a lot of women can relate to that conversation. A lot of women that are in these spaces where they're around other men, where they have to be like, they can't show emotion. They have to be bossy for whatever reason, So I'd like that she even brought that up, Anastasia. But she said this group might bring out a softer side in Stephanie. What do you guys think? Maybe? Well, Veronique said, because we forgot about the whole Birkins and Boogers aspect of Stephanie. Veronique says that she views children as grubby/dirty. So there's that too. Let's not forget that particular part. She said, Boogers and Birkins don't go together. She's so new money. All right. So we then are setting sail. The ladies meet up to go on their Virgin Voyages trip. Lisa is still wearing her wedding ring. It's on the other finger. Whatever. That was the moment I was like, she basically is like Portia. Portia probably still wears her wedding ring. I know she still probably has it, though. Anyway, here's the thing. I didn't even realize this, but Adriana really does have an issue with her age. And we know we talked about this when we were in Sevilla, where Kiki said, you are too old to be acting like this. And Adriana was so triggered by that. And maybe Kiki knew that triggers her, and that's why she said that. Gertie checks in on Adriana. And one of the things that stood out to me, first of all, Gertie's confessionals these last couple of weeks have been hilarious. When she was trying to do the pose, and then she was like, oh, back that, I gotta hide that. And okay, now get the shot. There are so many moments these last couple of episodes that Gertie really just made me laugh. But one of the things that stood out to me, she checks in on Adriana, not checking in on an alliance. I feel like this is the Gertie that would check in on an Alexia, or that would check in on a Marysol, I feel like she generally wants to be friends with these women, but they don't see that same with her. You know what I mean? So Gertie checks in on Adriana because Adriana is just sitting there, and I guess she has a pinched nerve as well. But she's also, her birthday's coming up. And Adriana says, there's ageism in the world. People treat you differently after a certain age. So she really feels, and there are some people that feel this and they never say it. So I can appreciate on this platform, because I'm sure there's so many women that heard Adriana speak like this and were like, I actually kind of agree with her. I just have never said it out loud. I can appreciate Adriana's vulnerability for sharing out loud how she feels about aging. And mind you, in her confessional, she's showing off her confession. In that moment, I love the little short hair on her too. I was like, Adriana, you're beautiful. You probably have had some of the best confessionals of Real Housewives of Miami, like the confessional looks. Like, you look gorgeous. And she's the oldest of the group, but doesn't look that as the oldest of the group. We know who does. We're not going to get into it, okay? But Adriana said that she stopped celebrating her birthday after 40. What? Because she's like, there's ageism in the world. People treat you differently. She also said, I think this is what triggered the age stuff. She says that she was replaced by a younger model twice. Meaning like her last relationship. So the last husband that we saw in Real Housewives of Miami, he ended up getting with a younger woman? I need to know more about that. Like, what happened with that? Did we ever even address what happened with that? Like, what happened? Tanya says, Kempire, did you see the after show with Alexia and she felt like nobody took up for? Yes. We talked about that. Wasn't on this week's episode. That was on the last week and the previous week. She said that multiple times, including Marysol. Marysol, like, I didn't take up for you? Like, goodness. But anyway, back to Adriana. Adriana says that she was replaced for a younger model twice in her relationships. I was like, damn. But Gertie tries to cheer her up. She's like, look what I've gone through. Life is short. You got to live your life. And she really tries to uplift Adriana in this moment. I thought it was such a beautiful moment that I didn't see happening during the trip, because I didn't even notice that Adriana was, sitting around sulking. But her birthday's coming up. She's not feeling her best. And Gertie is like checking up on her. And she's like, girl, we're going to have a good time. We're going to get drunk. And she's like, I'm already drunk. She's like, no, you're not. Come on. And I appreciate it, because nobody else was checking on her. Nobody else was checking on her. Norman, thank you so much for being a member for 41 months. The Adriana conversation broke my old AF heart. First of all, Norma, you've been a member for 41 months. Thank you. That's years of membership. How many dollars is that? Lots. Lots of dollars. All right. Thank you, Norma. Yeah, Norma's been around. Norma's seen a lot of stuff since the channel. Right, Norma? Norma, did you see my OC recap? Norma also looks amazing. Norma, I don't even know how old you are. I'm not going to even guess, but you calling yourself old, I'm like, Norma looks great. But anyway, I've digressed. The Haitian Empress, gorgeous photo, Haitian Empress. Did you hear our conversation about Kiki and her dad? Could you relate? Just saying. It's a Caribbean thing. Can we break the chains of our history? Just saying. All right, let me move on. April says, I don't know why, but the scene made me sad too. But you know what made me happy was seeing Gertie check on her friend. I don't know if it really necessarily changed anything, because you saw at dinner things were kind of the same with Adriana. And also probably because she wasn't with the people she probably wanted to sit with. You know what I mean? All right. So then they end up going to Marysol's suite, the Rockstar suite. The Rockstar suite was cute. It's not like my cup of tea when it comes to like styling of a suite. Because I've seen some like really nice suites on these cruises and things like that. I was like, okay, I get it. It's big. And it has the theme of a rock star. I don't know if they have other suites that have different themes, but that wouldn't be my cup of tea, the rock star theme. But I did like seeing the bathtub and like multiple rooms, and you probably have like a nice walk-in closet. One day I would love to do one of those world tours, like the cruise tours. But if I'm going to do that, there is no way I'm going to be in one of those like little single room things. I need a suite. I need a living room. I can even do just the living room and the bedroom. I don't need all the things, and I need a balcony. Anyone else? But they were all so seasick. Okay, they were so seasick from being on this boat, which I'm actually kind of surprised at. But I guess I don't know. Maybe it was rough waters. I also sailed from Dubai to Singapore. Those were some rough waters. Okay, but I never got seasick. I don't know. My friend was kind of like, "Oh, this is a lot." Foxy says Adriana does not like to celebrate that she gets older. Yeah, I mean, by the grace of God, we all will. I think it's all about how you view it. I mean, without a doubt, I think, especially as I've gotten older after turning the big 4-0, you do start to see some changes in your body. Like there's a lot more self-care that I have to do now than I had to do when I was in my 20s or my 30s. So it's sort of like I'm going to the stretcher, I'm doing this, I got to do that. I'm like, and that's why I'm doing Pilates to safeguard my body for when I'm 60. That I'm like, but I got the hips of a 20-year-old. You know what I mean? That's why I'm doing Pilates. It's to say it's not to get a trim, slim body. I mean, it helps. I remember when I was leaving Equinox. I remember the Equinox saga, but I had all those classes with them, and I was doing it for like 6-7 days a week. I was doing Pilates. Ooh, the body was tight. Body was tight. I mean, it's still tight, but getting tight. Tight. Look, I need to go get a stretch tomorrow. Let me tell y'all something. Stretch on your own. If you can't afford to go get a stretch, yeah, they have depending on where you live. New York, we have all these weird stuff. You can get stretched by someone because if you're not stretching your body, especially as you get older. I think it was Dr. Terry Dubrow that talked about stretching too. Come on. Steve says, wait till you get old. What are you trying to say? It's going to get worse. Q Potato watching on Twitch says, I like the fact that I'm still Earth side, and I'll leave it at that. Huh? What does that mean? Okay. Oh, I think I know what you meant. Guys, we're almost at 300 likes. I'm not moving on until we get to 300 likes. I'm not moving on. I'm holding you all hostage till we get to 300 likes. Like the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. Oh, Key says Pilates with Stairmaster after. That's Stairmaster? Ooh, I haven't done it in a couple of months. I need to get back to doing it. That's the one workout. 10 minutes in, I am drenched. I need to get back to doing the Stairmaster. Thank you for the reminder. You know what, Norma says, I get stretched nightly. Well, unfortunately for us, we don't have a husband that will stretch us nightly. Tanya says stretching works wonders. I should do it more. And this is someone that goes to get stretched. I still need to do it more. Because I'm also active. I'm walking 3 miles a day. I'm doing Pilates. I'm working out. You know what I mean? Jess says, I'm 33 and I'm feeling the years of not taking care of my body. Yoga, walking, weightlifting is helping so much. See? We got to take care of our bodies. Thank you guys so much for 300 likes. Let's get back to our Real Housewives of Miami recap. It works. Critical Thinker says hip strength is important. How do we get into these? Where were we talking about? How do we get there? Let me get back to Real Housewives of Miami. We take such tangents, okay? But good ones. Mr. Mel imagines this, Kemp, get the billionaire to stretch you. No, he'll pay for someone to stretch me. And then I'll be like a desperate housewife moment. I have an affair with the stretcher. But don't tell him. Shh. Joking. All right, let me move on, y'all. It's starting to get hot in the studio. My fan went dead. I need to plug it in. That's what I need to do. All right, let me say thank you. RC, thank you so much for being a member for the Super Chat. RC says, ageism is kind of like racism and exists all over unchecked. We had a 20-year-old clown and over 70 exec at a firm birthday party. It stopped all birthday parties. Oh, wow. I mean, I could definitely see that. That goes along with the whole body shaming of it all. People feel like people make excuses for fat shaming people and things like that. Like being fat phobic seems to be more acceptable in society than anything. But yeah. A. Schneider says, agree. I'm 661. Would love to look as good as Adriana, but I've been losing weight and finally focusing on me. Amen. Congratulations, A. Schneider. I'd love to hear that. Foxy says, a Kempire telenovela, not me sleeping with the stretcher. All right, let's move on. All right, so they separate the group. So Marysol tells the group, we're going to separate the dinners, with everything that happened in Spain, we're going to separate the dinners. And Alexia is just like, we are talking to because when she tells them the groups, she's like, we're talking to the wrong people. I don't know about anyone else. When Alexia said that, I thought that was so funny. Even the group thought it was funny. It was like, well, yeah. And Marysol's like, well, no, we just kind of want tonight to be low key and no drama and things like that. Okay. Stephanie then says, like, I'm not trying to get into any drama. I'm nautical Stephanie right now. She says, like, I don't want to go to cruise jail. Did you guys know that there's actually a cruise jail on like every ship? I don't know what they look like. I've heard of it before. Okay. And Marysol's like, yeah, but I don't think that that's for people that bring drugs onto the cruise. And she's like, no, it's for people that are unruly. So she was like, well, don't be unruly and don't bring drugs. I mean, I've never worried about being put in a cruise jail, but I've heard of them. I don't even know what it looks like. I wonder if it looks like an actual jail. Has anyone ever seen it? Now I kind of want to know where they are. Just saying. All right. So they do their separate dinners. So Marysol has her group. Larsa has her group. Okay. So Lisa says Lisa's so excited that she's on time. She gets there with Julia. Julia's already there. Again, what is going on with Julia's hair? Just asking for a friend. A friend is me. Lisa's so excited though, but when Marysol arrives, she's like, look who's late. She's like 53 minutes late for dinner. Alexia then arrives late, and then she's like, oh, look, but when I'm late, everyone's so upset. And Alexia's just like, girl, you have a pattern of being late. I mean, they're right. I just can't imagine being that late for dinner. Like you're sitting around waiting for someone for an hour at the table. I wouldn't like that regardless. I mean, I know Lisa is not the one to talk, but I'm sort of like, why are we an hour late for dinner? In certain restaurants won't even seat you without your entire party. But okay. Patricia said that Julia's appropriating. I kind of thought that, but then I was like, we'll let it slide. It didn't look good on her. Just saying. But it's so funny because if we saw that on Kiki or Gertie, it probably would look hot. It didn't look good on Julia. Julia! It didn't look good on her. BY says, I love the boat. Julia had extensions in her hair. Look. All right. What else happened in this scene? So Lisa's just so excited that she's been on time. I feel like I want to sneeze. Okay, it didn't come. Is it coming? No? Let me take a sip of water. Adriana arrives at the table and she's still like dragging. And everyone's like, oh, how you doing? You look beautiful. And Lisa's like, oh my God, you look really pretty. Julia says in her confessional, she doesn't know, what's going on with Adriana. She knows she has these issues with her birthday, but she also doesn't know where they stand when it comes to their friendship. Okay. Lisa then says that, Lisa says that she starts talking about her issues with Larsa and the whole, Jody texting Larsa. And Alexia says Jody should not be texting Larsa, period. Lisa says that Larsa is on OnlyFans and is probably talking to someone's husband. That was a bar. I don't know about y'all. I was like, wait, Lisa said what? Lisa, week after week, has been having all kinds of funny comments towards Larsa. I just wonder if someone's writing that for her. Because it will be interesting to see if she'll be that quick at the reunion. We shall see. I mean, that was I was like, damn. I mean, she's got a point, but okay. She then says that Jody did nothing wrong with texting Larsa because Larsa has been texting him before. All right. Larsa says so here's the thing with Larsa. This is where Larsa lost me. You know, I defended Larsa in the beginning of the season when it comes with her Lisa issues. However, you and Lisa put to bed your issues at that luncheon, that very funny luncheon. So the fact that Larsa's bringing up that Lisa accused her of hiring the paparazzi that captured Marcus doing the Booga Sugars in the south of France, I was like, girl, why are we still talking about that? I thought you guys settled that. So now you're just reaching. Because now you can't say that, oh, she's still following Marcus because she's unfollowed Marcus. Hence why Adriana and Gertie were like, unfollow him, then you take away her argument. So now you just look like petty. So I have to agree with Lisa at this particular point. There's no real reason for Larsa to be mad. Because she brings that up again. All right. Then we have Stephanie. Stephanie says that her sisters also said that she has a bad delivery. So that makes me wonder, like, who's the real problem here? Is it the group? Here's the thing. I will say this. When it comes to Marysol and Alexia and Stephanie, I feel like they're all wrong in their own way. And I feel like Marysol and Alexia are just being mean girls towards Stephanie. But I also think that Stephanie does hold the private jet and her money and tries to buy people and things like that. I do believe that she does do that. And she brings up her money and things like that. I saw in the after show, too, she was doing similar stuff. So I'm team no one on this because I feel like what they're bringing up is valid. However, it seems as if Alexia and Marysol are not on the same page with whatever lie they're going to tell Stephanie. All right. Then we have that moment where Larsa FaceTimes with the bros and Julia. Julia just happened to be in the room. And she's putting her foot up in the air, and then she flashes the ladies her boobie. Okay? So she's feeling nice. Okay? She was nauseous, but then she had tequila. I'm like, if you guys are nauseous, why are you drinking? That's not going to help at all. But I remember growing up on Staten Island, and I remember seeing people be drunk on the ferry, and I'm like, this is not going to be good for you. You're on a ferry and you're drunk, and it's just like, and mind you, when I say ferry, it wasn't the large ferries, because most of the time if they were drunk, it was like late night, and it's those smaller little ferries, so you really feel the bumps. I was like, I'm glad I wasn't a drinker then. I'm still not a drinker, but you get what I'm saying. All right. Moving on. Guys, we're almost at 400 likes. Keep liking the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. Speaking of supporting, don't forget the Kempire After Dark, the Villain Era live experience. Its final show is a week from today at the Green Room 42. Go get your tickets today. There's a live stream option available as well. More ticket information will be available in the description. If you're a member of the channel, I am going to drop the call link for you guys on the community tab, the post tab, whatever you want to call it now, YouTube. Let me drop it for you guys while I remember. And live chat, once we get to 400 likes, I will drop the call link for you guys as well. So like the video if you want the call-in link. Like the video if you want the call-in link. All right. Let me drop that. There we go. Okay. Okay. Let me see. All right. So then we have this final scene, and shout out to the editors. The editors really, I did not expect the episode to end this way. Stephanie goes to have a conversation with Marysol. They're about to go do some sort of workout, and Marysol's like, oh, I don't want to do a workout. This is not, what I signed up for. Richard Branson set me up, okay? So Stephanie sits down and she says that she thought that she found a safe space with Alexia and Marysol. And I kind of felt for Stephanie because I understand what she's saying here. She's basically saying that she thought that they were actually cool now. So she was blindsided the next day when they didn't come on the private jet, and then she was hearing different things about why and that they were offended. Okay? So I was like, I kind of understand where Stephanie's coming from. I think we all were. And I said to you last week, I felt like some of that might have been them trying to produce a moment. Or just trying to show their power over Stephanie and their influence. I don't know. And again, I always tell you, some of the fights that we're talking about here have nothing to do with what they're actually saying. Has more so to do with the show. Did they not want her to have this moment, this scene? I don't know. I really don't think it's what they're saying. Like they just wanted to have a date for themselves. They just wanted to have a date for themselves. Maybe, and it could be. Because when you think about this too, the other side of this, when they're filming, they really do not get to enjoy the country that they're visiting. So it could have really been just that. We never get a moment to really just relax. We're always filming. We're always with these women. And that could be part of the reason why they really were like, no, I just want to date myself. It just was the reasoning behind it. It's sort of like, I get it on camera. They can't really say, well, we want to, we're filming all the time. We just want to date for ourselves. But Alexia and Marysol keep giving her two different reasons. Angel says Twiddledee and Twiddledum need to stop trying to produce. I have a variety of different reasons why I think that might have happened, but who knows? Was it more nefarious than we're thinking? Who knows with these folks? But here's the thing. So it seems as if Stephanie reveals that to Marysol, and Marysol says that she doesn't need her to offer anything to be friends. She doesn't like all of the the offers and the things and that and blah blah and the constant bringing up how much I paid for this. And Stephanie was like, well, I don't think I was the one who brought up how much we paid for that. I think that was Larsa. Fine. And then she brings up what Julia said. She felt like Julia was sort of stirring the pot by sharing, like, they think you're too bossy and that you're going to leave them if we go to Mabaya. Anyways, so Marysol then says that she initially she just did not want to go. And then she thought to herself later and said to Alexia, like, do you really want to go? We could stay here. We could do that. So she convinced Alexia, and Alexia was like, you know what? Yeah, let's do that. I feel like there's more to that conversation, but clearly they did not want to go. And I could also understand them being turned off by Stephanie, especially the night before when Stephanie was like, oh, we're going to make out all of who's going to sit where. We're going to separate Lisa, blah, 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 blah. I can understand, even if we're cool, I can understand where if we're cool, I'm like, how do I know you're not going to do that to me? You're not always in the best space when it comes to Alexia. And I already know I'm going to ride with Alexia if you decide Alexia can't come on my plane. So I'm not going to come on your plane. So I can understand that being motivation for them. Like, you know what? I'm not going to even risk it. Because Stephanie has an interesting memory when it comes to what went down. You saw last week, she tried to blame Alexia for why Lisa was not going to be on the private jet, even though we saw it was Stephanie who asked Larsa. And then she tried to spin it this week in regards to, what was it? I can't even remember now. She was spinning some things. She was definitely spinning some things when it comes to what was happening in this group. Okay. But, Marysol says that she just didn't want to go initially, and then that's why Alexia eventually agreed not to go either. But then we see them fast forward 8 hours, and Stephanie's having a conversation with Alexia. I don't understand why she's having a separate conversation with Alexia about the same thing. And I'm like, why are we asking her about? I thought we put it to bed, because literally in that moment, Marysol says, we're done, Mighty Mouse. We can move forward, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, this is cute. We can just end. Look, Mighty Mouse. You see my show? Uniqlo, when I went to Japan. Remember when I went to Japan? I would love to go back to Japan. I had a good time in Japan. Anyway. So she calls her Mighty Mouse. Now she's got a new nickname for one of the other ladies. However, fast forward to next week's episode, things are going to go berserk. Because now Stephanie says that she sees right through Marysol, and she's having a conversation with Adriana, who already doesn't like Marysol. And she's just like, she tries to pretend like she's your best friend, but she actually is your enemy. I agree with that though. You know, based on what we've heard offline from other housewives, that kind of thing when it comes to Marysol. So then, um, she basically says to Adriana, like she keeps coming for me, and she basically warns her. She's like, if you're gonna come for me, when I come for you, I don't miss. Oh, she said I do not miss, and I was like, no matter how you feel about Stephanie, I have to say, there have been quite a few moments. I'm like, I mean, she's got the energy for a housewife. I mean, she has a lifestyle that a lot of these Bravo fans say that they want to see. I mean, she's obnoxious with it, but she has it. And some of these moments where she's not letting the bros try to take her down. And I'm like, okay, I'm here for it. But this might cause a rift in her best friendship with Larsa. But what I see in the after show with Larsa and Stephanie, I don't think that's going to last. It's just them sucking up to each other. I don't feel like it's for real. I don't feel like it's a real friendship. I feel like they're so different. And yeah, sometimes that works when friends are so different. I'm just like, no. I think they've chosen to be each other's allies on the show, and maybe because they both know Caroline Stanberry. But I don't see that lasting, especially on the after show. It's so fake. It's so fake. They're trying to just have each other's back no matter what. That's one thing I can appreciate about Alexia and Marysol, because even them, they have little conflicts in their after show conversation. She's like, yeah, you didn't have my back. Like, no one had my back. This is Alexia. Okay. All right, guys, if you haven't already, be sure to like the video. We're almost at 400 likes. Once we get to 400 likes, I will drop the call link for the general audience. But if we don't, that's fine. Okay. If you're a member of the channel, though, I've dropped the call-in link for you guys on the community tab. Thank you, Kendra, for the super chat. Kendra says, why is it a problem for Lisa to take notes, but Marysol can make a list? Yeah, Marysol did talk about making a list of all the reasons why she did not want to go on a private jet with Stephanie. The line is pushed back for certain people. Well, the line is created by Marysol and Alexia. Because remember, it was Marysol who had the biggest issue with it. I'm like, who cares? It's not like she recorded you guys. Like Katie. Queen Day says next season they'll turn on each other. Yeah. They will. They will and did. All right, let's get to the calls. Guys, remember, the opinions of the callers do not represent the opinions of myself, the Kempire LLC, or our sponsors. And everything that they say is alleged. They will respect the timer. And yeah. Oh, yeah, we don't have that many callers for Real Housewives of Miami. I'm surprised. All right. Toya's backstage. We're going to bring Toya up next. Toya, what did you want to share in regards to Real Housewives of Miami?
Hi, Kempire. How are you?
Well, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. I just wanted to say I love that they have these types of friends. Anastasia, Beverly Hills, makeup is expensive, okay? I wouldn't mind being able to get some free
Oh.
makeup. And
Okay.
also Richard Branson. I mean, I would love to be friends with someone who owns hotels, airlines, and cruise ships. And I
And
love that little
islands.
partnership. Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. Um, I loved how they did that spotlight. That was definitely a partnership. The way they were getting those shots of the cruise ship,
Yep.
come on. But people were paid,
Yeah.
and I'm not mad at them. That's amazing marketing.
Yeah.
I did want to say Kiki, though, her father, I did not like that. And this is something that happens a lot, I feel like, in the Black community. I've seen it. You don't kick a child out, and then because they turned out to do well, say, well, look at you. You've done well. Yeah, no thanks to you.
Oh.
No thanks to you. And this isn't the first time. I saw this 2 weeks ago on another show on OWN, where a lady was saying the same thing to her mother. She was having that conversation like, you kicked me out when I was 19 and I had a baby. And the mom said, well, you turned out great. And it's like, yeah, but
God.
why did she have to get it out the mud? Like, why can't we help each other? Help our kids? I don't know. I don't like that. I think we should help our kids as much as we can. Not that they should be lazy like some people's kids, like, was it whose son?
Marcus
No,
Jordan.
well, I mean, when you a billionaire, when your daddy's a billionaire, do you have to work? I don't know what Marcus does.
He does nothing.
Look, I ain't mad at him. I'm not. But Kiki's parents were not
I
billionaires.
am mad at him. He's sniffing up all his daddy's money.
Well, that's true. Like, what an embarrassment. You can't be doing that.
Toy turned on him real quick.
Yeah, I forgot about that. And I didn't like that he was threatening Larsa. That's not cool. Like, dude, you could get another one very easily. Just stop it. Like, just move on.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Kempire.
Thanks, Toya. Take care. Yeah. I mean, look, we could have a whole long conversation because let me tell you something. If I wasn't doing well here on YouTube and I was struggling in the mud, you know, my Jamaican parents would be like, I don't know why you don't use your good college degree. You're busy here trying to do YouTube and things. But because I got a following, they see me featured on this and that. It's all good in the hood now, right, baby? Whatever. Taurus Moose says he uses AC. Miss Bernice is backstage. Miss Bernice, what did you want to share?
You need a hug. Okay.
I'm coming to Detroit for my hug.
Okay. What up, though, everybody? I love Adriana in this episode because she was being herself.
Yeah.
And like, baby, we just get better with time. She just gotta believe in herself. And I love the way Gertie was the only one who sensed that something ain't right. I gotta go check on my friend.
Yeah.
And all these other helpers sitting over there like, okay, you ain't gave Gertie a hug or nothing as a group. Adriana is the only one who's been supportive to Gertie. Alexis and Marysol need to still. I don't like them because if Marysol the type of person, if she can't control you, she don't want you around her. That's why her and Alexis are getting along so well because she has complete control over Alexis. Alexis is her puppet. You see how Alexis is without Marysol in the group? But you see how Alexis is when Marysol is in the group around her? She's two totally different people.
Which they've said.
Yes. So, and what else? That's all I really wanted. I love Gertie. Gertie's my girl. I'm always gonna love her. Kiki, your daddy never gonna apologize for kicking you out the house.
Nope.
Because he had that look on his face like, okay,
and
you have your feelings, and my feelings are more valid than your feelings. I'm not gonna say I'm sorry, because I'm not sorry.
Yep.
But other than that, you didn't read my thing that came across the screen. I don't appreciate that.
What thing?
When I put the membership thing.
You know what?
You didn't read mine.
It didn't come unless I catch it. It doesn't come up in the same super chat stuff on this platform. I know on StreamYard it will save the anniversary stuff. For some reason, these folks don't do that. So unless I catch it, I can't. I can go find it though.
That would be. I appreciate that very much, sir.
Bye, Miss Bernice.
Bye. I love you. Bye bye.
Let me find Miss Bernice's membership. Oh, here we go. 39 months she's been a member. I found it. 39 months. Miss Bernice says, hold on. The Whisper song, It Just Gets Better with Time, should be Adriana's theme song because getting older means getting better. I agree. Like, we need to start, but it's our society. When I say society, it's our culture. In other cultures, if you're older, it's celebrated. And I think that's what she's feeling, especially because she's in Miami, where they're doing all the things to kind of look, you know what I mean? So I get it. All right, I did drop the call link for everyone in the general audience just because I'm not waiting on y'all. All right, Keith's backstage. We're going to bring Keith up next. Keith, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Miami?
Hey, Kempire, how are you?
How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. So first of all, I do want to say, like, I actually really do like Stephanie on this cast. And I feel like people need to get out of the dynamic of having the idea that everyone needs to get along or everyone has to have a positive personality because we don't run into people that we like.
Mm.
all the day, all the time. So I don't mind her being on the cast and her
Mm.
having such a vitriol reaction from the fans,
Mm.
because it's better to have a vitriol reaction than no reaction at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I think she would probably be a good fit to bring back. But also, did you notice how Jody threw Russell under the bus in his conversation with Lisa when he was talking about how Russell told Larsa to quit it during their previous event last season?
Yep.
I got my eye. Well, I got both my eyes on him.
He's got both his
but
eyes on you too.
exactly, we see each other. But also, I'm also happy. Well, first of all, I'm upset about the scene that happened with Kiki and her father, because I understand how it is dealing with Caribbean parents or West Indian parents in general, and I'm just happy that my parents gave me the ability to have a different upbringing than they had,
Mm.
and how they were treated growing up, and I was able to actually voice my opinions and not feel like I'm gonna be slapped across the face
Mm.
afterwards. So that's definitely the vibes that her father was giving. It gave my grandfather vibes for sure.
Mm.
And also, one last thing, I think it's weird to write down statements in the middle of an argument in regards to Lisa a few episodes ago. I just feel like it's weird because it gives her time to think of her lies when she should be able to address it right then and there, rather than having to go to her hotel room. But that's about it.
And seek Jody's advice. What
Exactly.
where islands are your family from?
My dad is actually African American from the South, but my mom is Guyanese from Georgetown, born
Mm.
and raised.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thanks, Keith, for calling in.
Of course.
All right. Let's bring up April next. April, what did you want to share?
Good afternoon, Kempire. How are
Oh, well,
you?
how are you?
I'm good. So I actually do have a story about the situation about with Kiki and
Mm.
her father,
Mm.
because I'm trying to get emotional because he just needs to get so it's like I decided to leave on my own. It wasn't that I was like underage or anything. Life just life, and I had to, come back, and um my bio mom and my bio father, they were married when they were younger, had me, and then separated, and then he got married to another Caribbean woman, and then so trigger warning, passing, death. My bio mom passed away in 2020,
Sorry.
and so it was just like a thing to where I had to reroute. I did first of all, I've always lived with my bio mom and my siblings, so it was new coming to live with my bio dad
Mm.
and stepmom, and so I decided after being trying to be an adult and have a conversation where I was like, hey, I need to do this. I have certain things that I need to do. Is it okay if I get like an extension? Now, mind you, I've been in this household quite some time. I never got an explicit time on when I had to be out.
Mm.
And earlier, when I called back a few months ago, when I was telling you, oh, I moved back, to Fort Lauderdale,
Mm.
that was because of that situation. Because
Oh.
she said that that wasn't going to work for her. And so he stood there idly and was just going along with it. And then it was the nerve of everybody to like develop a conscience after I decided, you know what, don't worry about it. I'm going to land on my feet anyways, because that's how my mom raised me,
Mm.
and I'm going to do it. And I haven't spoken to anyone since then. And it is true where Caribbean parents and sometimes African American parents, because my bio father is African American, my
Mm.
bio mom is Jamaican, same thing with my stepmom.
Mm.
And it's just like no one helped me when I went away to FSU
Mm.
outside of my bio mom and everybody in my corner. The one time that I did ask for help, never called again. That was
Wow.
me. I did it all on my own, and parents have got to get out of their own way. It's okay to help your child. That's what you're here for, is to help us, to teach us, especially if y- this child doesn't cause any problems. And even if they do, it's
Yeah.
okay to parent different and say,
Mm.
hey, you did it this way. You don't,
And you didn't
it's
like it then.
okay. Right, exactly. And it's just like, okay. And I was just like, wow. And then everybody was sad when I was going. And mind you, I moved out during my birthday month of this year, of April, when I turned 31.
Mm.
And I was like, okay, you know what? It's okay. And I do want to encourage anybody that if you're 30, 31, whatever, it's okay to start over in life. And you can forgive, but don't forget. You don't, just because they are your parents or whoever it is, you don't necessarily have to roll over and play nice because they know
Mm,
what they did
yeah.
and they just expect you to turn the cheek. Well, I'm done turning cheeks, okay? My face and my booty cheeks. I'm tired of it. And yes, just keep on being a trooper. I love Gertie, and it's always Bump Julia in them stiff wigs, just like them false extensions in her hair. And I do see the fraction between uh Miss Barbie doll
Lexia,
and Miss Cocky. It's
Marysol.
very fascinating. Yeah, and I didn't like when Jody threw Russell under the bus. I understood what he
Yeah.
was trying to
Mm.
say, but it's different because I believe they were in Gertie's home, right? They were in their home or something like that.
I don't
But
remember.
it's like
But
he was,
regardless, Gertie
yeah,
was fighting cancer at the time. He was a little
exactly,
sensitive, and Russell never says anything. Russell never gets involved.
exactly. Have some couth, have some decorum. And with Stephanie, if more than one people are saying the same thing about you, babes, it's time to reflect. That's what our Pisces and Saturn retrograde is about, reflecting.
Mm.
Take notes, apply it to your life, and do better. And that's all, Kempire. Thank you. I
Thank you
hope
for
you enjoy the
sharing,
rest of your day.
April. Take
Of
care.
course. Bye.
Bye. Pink Pop Star. I love that name. Pink Pop Star says, "Thank you, caller. I'm starting over at 29, and it's tough. Prayers and well wishes to you." I mean, look, some people are starting over at 40 and 50. If you're still around, this is why aging is a blessing, because if you're still here aging, I had a best friend, my sister, two different people passed away the same year. They both were in their 20s. So every birthday for me, I'm like, I always have to kind of remind myself of those moments, but kind of like, I should be grateful that I even made it this far, because I know two individuals that passed away months apart in their 20s. So, and we literally, who passed away recently? There was someone that recently passed away. Oh, Rolling Ray, 28 years old. So if you have the blessing of turning whatever age, celebrate it today. Celebrate today. Happy Virgo season, Virgos. All right, Chef Lorraine is backstage. Chef Lorraine, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire, how you doing,
I'm
love?
well. How are you?
I'm doing good. So it's a couple of things. The age thing. I just wanted to say I turned 61 in June, and
Okay.
last year before my 60th birthday, I battled two different cancers.
Whoa.
And yes, I had stage 3 lung cancer and I had a rare cancer behind my right ear. And by the grace of
Wow.
God, I battled and I'm cancer free.
Amen. Come on now.
And,
Wait. Round of applause.
thank you. And, every day, I wake up every day and the first thing I say is, thank you, Lord, for letting me
Mm,
see another day, because time is so short.
yeah.
And my heart goes out to your prior caller. God is with you and everything is going to be okay. But getting to this show, oh my God, the only thing I really have to say about them is that poor Stephanie is, when you fly up high fast, you come down hard fast.
Mm,
And she needs to be careful about the way that she's doing things.
mm.
And her and Larsa with that after show, I bet you a whole gold roti that Larsa talk about her behind her back.
Mm.
She may not talk about her with the girls from the show. She may talk about her with other girls that probably know her outside the show. But Larsa really gives me, she kicked dirt on that girl behind her back.
Oh.
She does. And that Lisa, I can't with her. Lisa didn't want to miss the boat. That's why she decided to be early for a change. Because she didn't want to have to swim to that boat like she had to take the trains, planes, and automobiles last week.
Yeah, and it's only 2 days, so she would have been
Right?
cut out.
I know that's right. But other than that, I'm getting my ticket for the villain era on the 12th
Okay.
to watch at home,
Okay.
even though I saw you in Atlanta,
Yes.
but I got to catch the New York show.
Because you know it's gonna be different.
Yes, I know, I know.
Well, we
But
appreciate you, Chef Lorraine. You are a survivor. 2 cancers. Wow.
yes, yes, God. Before I turned, and all I wanted was, I was like, Lord, please just let me turn 60. Just let me see my 60th
Mm,
birthday. Then
mm.
that came, and my daughter took me on a mother-daughter trip on a cruise last year, and that
Oh,
was awesome.
that's nice.
So yeah, I was blessed, and I truly count my blessings every day.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for calling in, Chef Lorraine, and for sharing your story.
All right, babe. You have a wonderful weekend. Okay.
You too.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Woo, Lord. See why you got to be if you're healthy right now, or if you are now in remission from cancer, or even if you're going through cancer right now, if you're still here and you're still able to fight, let that just be a reminder to you to continue fighting. Also, a reminder to you to be grateful for your health and that you are aging. And this is why I like the fact that Adriana was vulnerable enough to share her thoughts and fears about growing older. I love that she is sharing it because now it's led to all of us having a conversation about it. All right, excommunicado will be our last caller. Excommunicado, what did you want to share?
Yeah, hi Kempire, how are you doing?
Well, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. Okay, first up about the whole Russell and Jody thing. I know a lot of people seem to feel like okay, they understand where Jody is coming from. I kind of differ on that because I'm like that is a bit different. I think most people were talking about there was that Jody shouldn't be texting Larsa,
Mm,
not really about him not really like intervening or anything. And because Russell did that in the group setting, in a public setting. A phone text conversation is totally different. A lot of things could be misinterpreted, a lot of things could go on in there. And that is why everyone was like, stop texting her. You
yeah.
shouldn't be texting her. Not really, don't get involved or don't defend yourself or anything like that. So it's kind of very
Mm,
different. And so I also kind of noticed whether it was the last episode or this episode, I feel like Alessia is throwing Marysol under the bus a bit
yeah.
often.
Yeah, it kind of feels that way. Like they're not connected on their stories.
Yeah, and besides, yeah, even besides that, even the scene in Mabea where they were all fighting and stuff, and then Stephanie is coming at her and she's like, "No, this one is your problem. This one is the one who she kept referring to Marisol like this one and trying to pull her in." A
Mm-hmm.
part of me is wondering, okay, is that just okay? You want Marisol to join in the fight for you, or that is actually her just pointing the heat towards Marysol. So it looks a bit shaky, and I know they might not show it because they want that alliance, but something unclean in there.
Mm, mm,
And for the Kiki's dad scene, I could totally relate. Watching that scene, I felt where she was coming from, and I felt sad that he wouldn't apologize or even
mm,
acknowledge that
yeah.
what he did was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But a part of me also wasn't really able to hold it against him
Mm,
because
mm,
like you said it's not just a Caribbean thing. Actually, I think it's probably just a black thing
mm.
because African parents and families are kind of the same way.
Yeah. That's where we
um
get it from.
yeah, yeah, that's the thing. And there's always this attitude of when you've gone through so much and they've put you through so much, and then at the end there's this attitude of, well, you didn't die though.
Mm,
That's pretty much it. So you are still here. You're still alive. I had a little bit of a conversation with my sister recently about the way she handled something. After processing it and all that, I had to send her a voice note like, okay, this is what I feel like you did wrong and stuff. You could do this better.
mm,
Until today, she hasn't responded to that voice note. This was like this was like 2 weeks ago. This was last month, and then at the beginning of this month, she sent me a Happy New Month message. And I'm like, okay. So the dynamics is just there.
yeah.
And at some point you kind of, yeah, you drop boundaries, but you can understand where it's coming from basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
And
Uh-huh.
lastly, I would say this season is it's been a bit weird in the sense that in prior seasons Kiki and Marysol were the comedic factor in the season. But this season, I haven't gotten so much from them. I think they actually gave us the Nini vibe in Miami. But this season, I haven't gotten that so much from either of them. But I'm getting that more from Gertie.
Yep. I've been saying the last few episodes, she's been making me laugh a lot in those confessionals.
Yeah, I was watching this episode. I'm like, this is so strange. This is what Kiki and Marysol usually be giving me, but I don't get it from them. And Gertie is actually being the comedic factor, and it's nice, but I really don't want Kiki and Marysol to really lose their uniqueness in the group. But it is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Excommunicado, thank you for calling in.
Thanks. Have a nice day.
You too. Bye. I love hearing the family dynamics when it triggers people to talk about what's going on in their own family dynamics. I really feel like it's healing for all of us to continue these conversations. And I love hearing that even African, Black, Caribbean, whatever, us talking about it is probably healing childhood wounds and trauma. And I'm sure a lot of you are trying to not do the same with your own children. I don't have any kids, so I won't pass on any trauma. Case closed. One of the things that did stand out to me when Stephanie was talking about having children of her own. Remember, Stephanie's a Scorpio. Remember we talked about Scorpio moms, and I said, well, maybe she should. Wait.
Maybe she shouldn't have any kids. She knows better.
Anyway. Shout out to everyone that already has hit the like button. Can we get to 500 likes? I think we can. Missy says, in Pakistan, age is not much of an issue unless you're single. Well, that makes sense. Yeah. I mean, for those of us that watch 90 Day Fiancé, we're probably so culturally in tune with some of the different cultures based off of what we discovered from watching shows like that. But yeah, thank you, Missy. Kendra, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Kendra said, and for another super chat. Kendra says, Kempire, your soundbite that says it's me, I'm the problem, it's me, describes Stephanie. You know it's still in here, right? Please hold. It's me. Hi, I'm the problem, it's me. That's me singing, y'all. Thank you so much, Kendra, for the super chat and for being a member. Thank you to our King's Guards for holding us down in the live chat during Real Housewives of Orange County, and of course our recap of the Real Housewives of Miami. If you're part of the replay crew, I get it, not everyone can be here during your lunch hour. We appreciate you guys being here. Don't forget though to like the video, to share the video, to subscribe, turn on your notifications, follow us on Twitch, because I hear the notifications work so much better over there. Twitch.tv/TheKempire. And don't forget, you can hear a nice, juicy, extended version of our Real Housewives of Orange County recap at 4 p.m. today. That's when it will drop on your favorite podcast platforms. Also, follow our Kempire Radio YouTube channel. Mods, if we can post a link to our YouTube channel for Kempire Radio. That is where the podcast now lives for the audio version. This week's episode is a juicy one because I've added maybe an additional 30 minutes to our Real Housewives of Orange County recap that was pre-recorded. So be sure to check that out on the podcast. And while you're there, don't forget to give us a 5-star review. And don't forget the Kempire After Dark live experience, the villain era, is coming back to New York City for our final show of the summer, our final show of 2025. This show has a live stream option, so anyone from around the world can watch it. So go get your tickets today. Ticket information will be available in the description. There are 2 separate links. One for in-person, for those of you in Tri-State area. You need to come to the show, okay? Because there might be stories that Brooke and I will be talking about that we won't say on stage. But there's also a live stream link option. Go get your tickets today if you still want to be a part of the show, because a lot of tea will be spilled between myself, Brooke, and the audience, okay? Guys, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your Friday. Don't forget, next week's recaps probably will be delayed just because I'm going to kind of make sure I rest myself up for that show. So if you want to hear my initial thoughts on next week's episodes of Orange County and Miami, get a ticket for the live stream, because that's where we will be talking about it. Everyone have a fantastic rest of your day. I will see you all in the next one, which will probably be, you never know. I will definitely go live on TikTok, so make sure you follow me on TikTok. Okay? And over here, YouTube doesn't ban us when we talk about other platforms. TikTok, what's going on with y'all? Y'all just real insecure, huh? All right. Bye, y'all. Bum, 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 bum.
Here we go now.